Welcome to the Test Management Mindset, insights into the world of software testing. The best content by Practitest in audio form, designed to keep you inspired wherever you are. In today's episode, we're on the topic of convincing management to adopt a test management tool, offering you the best reasons they won't be able to ignore. Let's get started.
Ever feel like you're drowning in spreadsheets when it comes to testing?
Oh, tell me that.
You're not alone. Today's deep dive is for every listener who knows a test management tool could be a game changer, but needs that golden ticket, manager approval. We're diving into how to convince your manager to adopt a test management tool. And let me tell you, it's packed with good stuff. Imagine this, deadlines are looming. You're knee-deep in manual tasks. But you can practically taste the efficiency a good tool would bring.
Right.
So how do we even start?
You know, what's fascinating here is that it's about psychology as much as it is about practicality. Think about it. People are wired to avoid loss. If you can position the tool as a way to prevent potential losses, missed deadlines, budget overruns, buggy releases, you'll immediately have your manager's attention.
Okay, so it's not just about saying, this tool will make my life easier. It's about framing it around the things that keep your manager up at night.
Exactly. And speaking their language goes beyond just buzzwords. It's about understanding their priorities. If on-time releases are paramount, you lead with that. If it's about minimizing risk, you emphasize the tool's role in comprehensive testing and documentation.
So instead of focusing on how many hours it'll save me, I might say something like, this could really improve our release cycle and get that new feature out the door faster.
Now you're speaking their language.
Yeah.
And don't underestimate the power of relatable pain points. The guide lists things like email chains for assigning tasks, chasing down updates, and those monster manual reports. Like, the authors have been spying on our work lives, right?
Seriously. Who hasn't been there? It's chaos.
Exactly. And that's your opening. You highlight those pain points, and then you swoop in with this solution, a test management tool that can bring order to the chaos. But here's the next hurdle. Even if they see the potential, managers get nervous about disrupting the workflow.
Right. Nobody wants to introduce a new tool only to have it backfire and throw everything off track.
Which is why having a clear deployment plan is so crucial. This is where you demonstrate you're not just bringing a problem to the table, you're bringing a well-thought-out solution.
So we need a roadmap. What are we thinking here? Data migration, integrations with existing tools, training.
All of that and more. The guide actually suggests volunteering to lead the onboarding process. Now, I know that might sound daunting, but think about the message it sends.
It says, I'm not just dumping this on your plate. I'm taking ownership, and I'm going to make this transition as smooth as possible.
Exactly. You become the solution, not the problem.
Right.
And you demonstrate leadership and initiative. Qualities any manager loves. It shows you're thinking ahead and you've got a handle on the details.
Okay. I'm starting to see the strategy here. We've addressed their priorities, acknowledged their concerns, and now we're positioning ourselves as the solution. But is there anything else we can do to solidify this pitch?
You're on the right track. But while a compelling narrative is great, nothing speaks louder than cold, hard data.
Data, huh?
Yeah.
So we're not just saying this feels more efficient. We're saying this tool slashed our testing time by 20%, or we caught 15% more bugs during the last brunt.
Now you're getting it. The guide recommends putting together a mini case study. Even if it's just a pilot project using a free trial of a test management tool, the results can be really eye-opening.
Okay. I could see how having those concrete numbers would be huge. Managers love that stuff. But what if we're starting from scratch? How do we even get that data?
Well, that's where a little creativity comes in. Think about the areas you want to improve. Can you track how long it takes to run a specific type of test manually? How about the number of steps involved? Once you start using the tool, compare those metrics. Even small improvements can make a big impact when you present them the right way.
We're looking for those before and after snapshots to really drive the point home.
Precisely. And don't underestimate the power of a good story. Instead of just throwing numbers at your manager, weave them into a narrative. Remember that nightmare bug we were chasing last month? With this tool, we would have caught it 3 steps earlier.
Right. That's a much more compelling way to present the information. It's not just data. It's a story with real-world implications.
And don't forget about social proof. Testimonials from colleagues, especially those your manager trusts, can add serious weight to your argument.
Yeah. Strength in numbers, right? The guide actually mentioned getting your coworkers on board before even approaching your manager.
It's a smart move. Hearing the same positive feedback from multiple sources makes it much harder to dismiss. It's like planting a seed. Imagine your manager keeps hearing, "Have you seen what the design team is doing with that new project management tool? Seems amazing."
Yeah. By the time you formally present your case, they're already primed and ready to hear more.
Exactly. You've created a buzz,
Yeah.
and now you're riding that wave of momentum.
Okay. Let's say we've got our data, our testimonials, and maybe even some early adopters on our team. What's next?
Now it's time to choose the right tool. Remember, it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You need to do your research and find the platform that best meets your team's specific needs.
I can see how just saying any test management tool will do won't cut it.
Absolutely not. You've come this far. Don't fumble at the goal line. Think about the type of testing you do, the size of your team, your budget, integrations with other tools.
Speaking of integrations, the guide really emphasized their importance. I admit I'd skimmed over that part at first, but it makes so much sense.
Oh, it's a game changer, especially if you're already using tools like Jira for bug tracking or Slack for team communication.
So instead of toggling between different platforms and manually updating information, imagine a world where your test management tool seamlessly talks to all those other systems.
Think about it. You discover a bug, bam. It's automatically logged in Jira, assigned to the right developer. And the team is notified, all without you lifting a finger.
That is slick.
Yeah.
Talk about efficiency. So it sounds like we're looking for a tool that's not just functional, but also well integrated, user-friendly, and ideally scalable.
You got it. And don't be afraid to tap into the expertise of the companies behind these tools. Many offer free trials, demos, even consultations to help you find the perfect fit. Remember, it's in their best interest to make sure you're successful.
It's a partnership. They want you to love their product just as much as you want to find a tool that solves your problems.
Exactly. All right. We've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about speaking your manager's language, building a solid case, gathering data, even choosing the right tool. But there's one final piece of the puzzle.
Okay. I'm all ears. What's the missing link? Don't leave me hanging. What's this crucial last piece?
Timing. Even with the best pitch, the wrong timing can sink you. Imagine barging in on a Monday morning, everyone's buried in emails, and you launch into a 30-slide presentation on test management tools.
Yeah, probably not going to be received with open arms.
Exactly. The guide suggests a more subtle approach. How about weaving it into a conversation organically? Maybe during a team meeting, when you're discussing project challenges, you casually mention, I've been exploring some tools that could streamline our testing workflow.
Subtle. It's not a formal proposal, just putting it on their radar.
Precisely. You're simply sharing an observation and expressing an interest in exploring solutions. You might even find that your manager is the one who suggests a more in-depth conversation.
Ooh. Now that's what I call a win-win. So, to bring it all home for our listeners today, it's not just about finding a cool new test management tool, is it?
It's so much bigger than that. It's about understanding your manager's world, their priorities, their concerns. It's about making a data-driven case and presenting yourself as the solution, not just with the problem.
Right. It's about being proactive.
Well, taking initiative.
And ultimately, making your manager's life easier and maybe even inspiring them to embrace new ways of working in other areas.
Absolutely.
So,
as you wrap up listening to this deep dive, here's a thought. What's one small step you can take today to get this ball rolling?
ooh, I love that. A little food for thought for our action-oriented listeners.
It could be as simple as researching different tools, jotting down some notes on your current process, or even just mentioning this concept to a teammate. You never know what conversations might spark or what doors might open.
So true. Small steps can lead to big changes. Sometimes. All it takes is that first step.
And who knows? You might just become the champion of efficiency your team didn't know they needed.
Love it. All right, listeners. There you have it. Remember, you've got this. Until next time on The Deep Dive.